The best feeling in the world has to be buying a new bike, and your first big bike at that. It goes without saying then that the worst feeling in the world is having that bike completely die on you the third time you ride it. I'm talking about my Honda Rebel 500. I needed a bike to do my A2 license on since I struggled with the school's Suzuki Gladius. And I settled on this bike after reading great review after great review. And I really do believe it is a great bike, I just happened to buy a lemon. It was a 2018 Rebel with only around 500 miles on it. I did think it was a little bit suspicious that the last person had thrown a whole bunch of aftermarket parts on it, barely used it and then sold it. It had been dropped too because the pegs were a bit scraped and the mirror, but I didn't really mind too much. The bike came with a 3-month warranty, so I went and bought it anyway. I should have listened to my gut because the bike had nothing but problems since day one. Like I say, the last owner had fitted a whole bunch of aftermarket parts to it and he didn't do a particularly good job. The handlebars were aftermarket and were almost hanging off when the bike got to me. The throttle would stick when the bike was turned full lock. It had aftermarket levers on, which looked like they were about 30 quid from eBay. It was just a really poor job. I had Honda fit some stock bars and levers instead, and that fixed those issues, but unfortunately when I went to pick it up I noticed that the fork seals were leaking. I didn't notice the first time I saw the bike since it had been raining and the bike was wet, but I did tell them about this and for some reason they didn't fix it and delivered it to the training school instead, then had to come pick it straight back up when my instructor told me that I wouldn't be able to take my Mod 1 on a bike with leaking fork seals. Honda did manage to get this fixed the same day and deliver it back to the school the next morning, so I have no idea why they didn't just fix it in the first place. Anyway, I gave them the benefit of the doubt and carried on using the bike. It made it through my Mod 1 training and test and I passed my Mod 1 on it. I had to buy some new indicators for it since the ones the last guy fitted were completely invisible from behind. The next week I took it out for Mod 2 training and about 30 seconds before I was about to merge onto a 70 mph dual carriageway, the thing died for good. The speedometer started jumping all around the place, so I had no idea what speed I was going, and then the bike just completely cut out. I couldn't restart it and I had to get Honda to pick it up yet again. They called me to let me know that apparently a battery terminal came loose. I didn't bother to ask for clarification since I didn't even want the bike back at this point. The only credit I can really give them is that they did fix the problems with it and thankfully they agreed to refund me the money and take the bike back. Some of the problems should have been sorted before the bike got to me, and unfortunately some of the problems you wouldn't really have noticed until you started using the bike. I can't really blame them for the bike breaking down, but after noticing so many issues with it, I just didn't trust it anymore. This led to a bit of a delay to my Mod 2 since I had to source a new bike and I'd been waiting since April to do my license, so that wasn't completely fun. But in every negative situation there's an upside, and the upside here was that I got to go bike shopping again. I wasn't sure whether I wanted another Rebel, so I did a bit of shopping around and I ended up with this. It's a Kawasaki Z400. This thing feels like home. I'm so used to the seating position on my CBF 125 and this isn't too much different. I'll make a separate first impressions video, but I'm glad to say I redid my Mod 2 training on it, rode it for the whole day and it didn't break down once, so I'm already doing a lot better than the Rebel. It feels a lot more comfortable than the Rebel. This one has a rev counter and a gear indicator, which if you remember from my last video, that's something I really missed on the other bike. Stay tuned for my first ride and first impressions video. 400cc is not the biggest bike, but it's right at the top of the A2 limit and it's going to be perfect for what I want it for. I really look forward to riding it again and making some more videos on it. Thankfully my Mod 2 test has been rescheduled and I'll be taking that soon, so I'll let you guys know how it goes. In the meantime, ride safe and I'll see you in the next one.